The Central Unified School District Board of Trustees meeting for August 8th, 2023 is called to order at 6:01. Roll call for attendance, please.
Trustee Carrillo?
Present.
Trustee Cervantes?
Present.
Trustee Kerfan? Trustee Mailing?
Here.
Trustee Sellers?
Here.
Trustee Solis?
Here.
President Singh? 5 members in attendance.
Thank you. We'll move on to adoption of the agenda. What are the wishes of the board?
Motion to approve.
Okay, I heard a motion by trustee Mailing, a second by
Second.
trustee Solis. Okay, thank you. Roll call vote, please.
We need to do a roll call since we don't have anyone online right now.
Oh, that's true, we don't. Yeah, since we don't have anyone online, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries 5-0 with 2 absent. Next, we will take comments from the public on closed session items. If we can please set 30 seconds on the clock. If
Setting
there's-
30 seconds.
Thank you. If there is any member of the public wishing to address the board on any of the closed session items who may be watching remotely, the number to dial is 559-276-3150.
Thirty seconds have passed, and we have no comments by phone at this time.
Thank you. Hearing no comments, we will adjourn to closed session and return to open session at 7 p.m. or as soon as thereafter. Thank you. The board reconvenes to open session at 7 p.m. Items to report from closed session. Trustee Kurfan joined us at 6:03. President Chan also joined us at 6:14 p.m. However, we lost him at some point during the session. Certificated personnel report, a motion by Cervantes, second by Trustee Sellers, a vote of 6-0 with President Chan absent. Classified personnel report, motion by Trustee Cervantes, a second by Trustee Kurfan, also a vote of 6-0 with President Chan absent. Action taken, yes, to deny case number RMA 002139 with a motion by Trustee Kurfan, a second by Trustee Cervantes, a vote of 6-0 with President Chan absent. And with that, we move on to Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand. Thank you. We move on to community engagement information. We have interpreter translator Lorena Manriquez. I'm sorry.
If you wish to address the board, call 559-276-3150 or fill out a request form provided on the table near the entrance and submit it to the clerk of the board prior to the meeting. If you wish to speak on an item on the agenda, please do so when the item is called. If you wish to speak to an item not on the agenda, you may speak during the public comment sections of the agenda. Si desea dirigirse a la mesa directiva, llame al número 559-276-3150 o complete un formulario de solicitud provisto en la mesa cerca de la entrada y preséntelo al secretario de la mesa directiva antes de la reunión. Se permitirán comentarios públicos relacionados con los temas de la agenda cuando se llame al tema. Los comentarios públicos sobre un tema que no está en la agenda se permitirán durante la sección de comentarios públicos de la agenda. The district welcomes other language speakers to the board meetings. Anyone planning to attend and needing an interpreter for a language other than Spanish should call 559-274-4700, extension 10150, by the noon of the Friday preceding the board meeting or at least 48 hours in advance of the meeting, so arrangements can be made for an interpreter. El distrito da la bienvenida a las personas que hablan otros idiomas a las reuniones de la mesa directiva. Cualquier persona que planifique asistir y necesite un intérprete para un idioma que no sea español, llame al 559-274-4700, extensión 10150, el viernes antes de la reunión y antes del mediodía, o por lo menos 48 horas antes de la reunión para poder hacer los arreglos para la interpretación.
Gracias, señora Manriquez. Thank you, Ms. Manriquez. We move on to presentations. We do not have any representatives from CUDA or CSEA joining us today. We move on to Superintendent Board Communications. Superintendent Davis.
Thank you. Before I provide you with some brief updates, I'd like to request that we hold a moment of silence on behalf of our Central family who this summer has suffered some loss, both of a student, a spouse, a parent, and a friend. Multiple schools and employees have been affected, and I want to offer our support and encouragement to those directly impacted and also those that are at the ready to provide support for them. So if we can, take a moment, please. Thank you. And if I can also attach to that moment, if I can also thank our Director of Special Education, Julie Schaefer, who doesn't know that I am now, thanking her. Over this summer, she assembled a team, unfortunately, a few different times to make sure we had supports, mental health services, and supports for families and students that were in need. And so thank you so much for what you did to make sure our families were supported. So let's talk about the start of school. Next week, Wednesday the 16th, all of our kids arrive. We are excited. This is such a fun time of year. Orientations are taking place this week for our middle school and high school students. Back to school nights start next week. This morning, we had an opportunity to get to meet all of our new hires. We've had meetings going on so far this week and through the rest of the week with a lot of our teams coming back together to get everything ready so that when the doors open, our students are ready. Not only did we meet new hires, I just looked over in the corner there, I got Nora's eye. We got to meet a lot of our home school, our outreach, our family outreach liaisons that are starting as well. They've been spending this week just getting to know all the systems and resources so that when parents arrive on campus and need that extra help, they'll have those resources. So excited about some things to come this year. Thank you so much for all of your support in getting us ready for this year. Monday, we will also welcome all our staff back. It is our back to school event. You are certainly invited to join us. It's at Collegian. And people will start arriving around 7:15, and the event starts at 8:15. So if you're planning to come, I'd get there between 7:30 and 8, so you have a place to park and join us for the fun. But we're excited to get everybody together and kick off the year well. So thank you.
Thank you. Is there any board member wishing to provide communications? Trustee Solis?
I just wanted to piggyback on the statement about the new teachers orientation. I took the time to go to that. Of all the years I've been here, I've never went to one before. I was impressed with the energy there of our new employees, our new teachers. It says a lot for Central Unified that we're able to attract these quality people to come work here, and you could just tell they were all charged up and ready to start, and that can only benefit our community and our children. So thank you.
Trustee Kerfan?
Thank you. I want to say welcome back to all of our Central families that are coming back to school soon, and thank you to all our teachers and staff that will be with us as well. This past week, me and Trustee Sellers were at a backpack giveaway and also our administration with Superintendent Davis and a few others at a backpack giveaway at Inspiration Park with Assembly Member Esmeralda Soria and Council Member Annalisa Perea. Gave out hundreds of backpacks, food, had a bit of movie time afterwards. It was great seeing everyone in the community and making sure that any kid who needs one is able to get a backpack so they're ready for the new school year.
Thank you. Is there any other trustee wishing to provide any communications? Okay. We move on to our comments from the public. Is there any member of the public wishing to address the board? If there's anyone wishing to call, the number to dial is 559-276-3150. If we can set 30 seconds on the clock, please.
Setting 30 seconds.
Thank you. Once again, if there is any member in the audience who wishes to address the board, please come forward. If there is any member watching remotely wishing to address the board, the number to dial is 559-276-3150.
"30 seconds have passed, and we have no comments by phone at this time."
Thank you. And with that, we move on to our consent agenda. What are the wishes of the board? Thank you.
Second.
I have a motion by Trustee Mailing, and I have a second by Trustee Kerfan. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. And if I will, one absent, President Chan is not present. If he does join, if I will just please be notified. We move on to our action items. Our first item is approve employee out-of-state travel. Ms. Pennington?
Good evening, Board Vice President Carrillo, Superintendent Davis, and members of the board. All out-of-state travel for which reimbursement will be claimed must be approved in advance by Central Unified School District Board. We have a teacher requesting to go to the National Conference for Geographic Education, the annual conference. The teacher is requesting this conference because this teacher will be teaching AP Geography this year. Our administration is recommending approval for this item, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Pennington. And this item is coming to the board as action. These items usually come first as information and then typically under our consent agenda. But given that it's going to occur in October, we wanted to take advantage of any savings we can incur from flights, so it is coming as action. I'll take any public comment. Do we have any public comment?
None at this time.
Thank you. Any discussion or questions by the board? Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Thank you. I have a motion by trustee Solis. I have a second by trustee Sellers. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 6-0. Our next item is approve and adopt resolution number 2324-02, authorizing change order number 02 for Central High School well project number 1415-105D. Mr. Rodriguez.
Thank you, Board Vice President, Board of Trustees, and Superintendent Davis. For your approval tonight is change order number 2, and its resolution authorizing the change order for the Central High School well project. The increase to the project is due to the impact of necessary changes that the civil engineer of record has made that were implemented after this project was originally bid. Change orders are an allowable part of construction projects where a change may be initiated by the district, contractor, or design team at any time during the construction process. From time to time, though, we find change orders that exceed the statutory limits set by law. However, California courts have allowed public agencies exceptions based on previous California case law. Staff has consulted with legal counsel and has reviewed the change order and recommends that the board approve and adopt the resolution authorizing the contract change order. And I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Do we have any comments from the public?
None at this time.
Thank you. Comments or questions from the board? Trustee Mailing?
What requirements were changed to change this pump? It says the requirements changed, state requirements had changed?
Yes.
And that's the reason you guys are putting a different pump in? What requirements would have changed?
It was an additional fire. Let me go to that. So the state is requiring that we have an additional booster pump. Currently, we only had one. So the additional is a backup to the primary. So in the event that the primary goes down, the secondary will act like as a secondary. So the booster pump, you always will have that continuous flow of water.
All right, thanks.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Trustee Cervantes and then trustee Sellers.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to, well, first of all, the $45,000 additional dollars, the State Water Resource Board is going to fund that as well? Am I reading that correctly?
You are correct.
Well, we're very grateful for that, and thank you.
Mr. Rodriguez, if I can piggyback on that, is there a limit of the amount of money that the Water Resource Board grant will cover up to?
So that's a good question. So yes, there is a limit. So currently we have a little over $450,000 that they have allotted for in change orders and over $1 million in construction soft costs. So we're well within the limit based on the contract that we had signed with them.
And then there's no other foreseeable improvements that are going to need to be made, changes that we can project coming?
No, that is not correct. So there will be one, I believe it's the lightning protection that the Division of the State Architect had required us to install. They've had the contractor has had a change of the forces with the electrical forces that are there. Some of the foremen have already moved on to other things, so he's trying to get that cost over to us. So I anticipate that will become over, and a few other little miscellaneous items.
Okay. Thank you.
But that work had been already completed.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? What's the status of the project? Is this going to complete? I know that you just mentioned the possibility, hopefully there aren't, but the possibility of additional change orders.
Sure.
How close are we to completing the well?
So the well is completed. However, the motor control system, the brains of the well, is a very long lead item. So we anticipate that arriving this October, and hopefully, with our fingers crossed, that we'd be in operation. The well will be in operation, but the completion of the project won't be complete until January 2024, because we have a backup generator that is being built. But we can still operate the well, just like they're doing now, but we won't have a backup system.
Thank you. What are the wishes of the board on this item?
Motion to approve.
Thank you. I have a motion by trustee Solis. I have a second by trustee Cervantes. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 6-0. We move on to item 3, adopt resolution number 2324-01, designate official representative of official alternate representative to the California Risk Management Authority Board of Directors. Mr. Ekbal? Did I pronounce your last name correctly?
Yes, thanks. Okay. Good evening, Vice President, Board of Trustees, Superintendent Davis. The attached resolution authorizes the official and alternative representative, and whichever is present at the California Risk Management Authority Board meeting, to sign documents and perform all items related to the interest of the Board of Trustees. Administration is recommending adding Amir Iqbal, Assistant Sup CBO as the official representative, and Mr. Jack Collegian, Assistant Superintendent Human Resources, as the alternate representative. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any comments from the public?
None at this time.
Any comments or questions from the board? I'll move to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 6-0. We move on to information items. First item is receive information regarding 2023-2024 contracts to support academic achievement. Assistant Superintendent Boatwright.
Thank you. So we have 4 contracts that are coming forward tonight for information. We have 2 contracts for Imagine Learning, which are attached. Both are asking for a 1-year renewal. Imagine Learning provides core curriculum for standards instruction for our K-5 students at the Central Online Homeschool. The program is used as a supplemental resource for our English learners for English language development at all elementary sites. Teachers have reviewed and evaluated its use. Both quantitative data on student progress and qualitative feedback from educators will be evaluated to determine student usage and overall success with the curriculum. This will be year 2 of this program for the Central Online Homeschool, and then year 3 for our EL students. In addition, we also have a contract renewal for Illuminate. Illuminate has been our data and assessment management system for 12 years now in Central Unified. This system hosts our testing data and allows teachers to create standardized assessments for classroom instruction. If there comes a time when ARIES, which is our current student information system, builds out this function and can serve this purpose, then we will evaluate whether or not to discontinue Illuminate in the future and then not renew the contract for the next year. And then the final contract that's attached tonight is for Schoolzilla Renaissance. This is also a 1-year contract renewal. Schoolzilla allows administrators to view graphic data about each school on a single dashboard. These graphs are used to track progress towards strategic goals and inform action, practice, and policy. We've utilized this program for 4 years now. So these contracts are attached, and I'm asking for that they do go on the next board agenda for action, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Any comments from the public?
I don't have any at this time.
Thank you. Comments or questions from the board? How do we evaluate the contracts and the effectiveness of these programs? So I know you mentioned for Illuminate is the one that we need that additional service that's not provided by ARI.
Correct.
So the Imagine EL and the Imagine for our Central Online High School, if you can just talk briefly as to how we evaluate those.
Yes, absolutely. So for Imagine Learning, we're looking at student progress. So we have our progress monitoring system set up with our local assessments throughout the school year. So we monitor if that product is having a positive impact on student achievement. We also look at usage reports. We talk with teachers, we talk with administrators, but we do closely evaluate the feedback. We are asking that these be renewed for just 1 year so that we can closely monitor progress and make sure that the programs are having the impact that we need them to have for our students. And then for Illuminate, as I mentioned, we have had that service now for 12 years. It's where we hold all of our student assessment information. And then we do have many teachers that utilize Illuminate to build common assessments that they utilize in their classroom. So there's like a testing bank of questions that are utilized. And again, we see usage reports from that, and we monitor those to make sure that the program is being utilized, and then we do utilize it ourselves, at the district level, like I said, to house all of our assessment results for our local assessments.
Thank you, Dr. Boatwright. Any objection to having this return under consent? Okay, this item will return under consent to our August 22nd meeting. Next item is item 2, receive information regarding approval of the 2023-2024 school plans for student achievement. We have Area Administrator Garrett and Pennington.
Good evening, Board Vice President Carrillo, Superintendent Davis, and members of the board. We are bringing this item to you tonight for information on behalf of our school sites. Each year, our school plans for student achievement go through a collaborative process of reflection and planning. This is based on current year's data, the following year's categorical allocations a site receives to best support the academic and social emotional needs of their students and to actively engage and support their families in their students' learning. Educational partner feedback is collected through our English Learner Advisory Committees, school site councils, and from staff. And language translation is provided at these meetings. The documents are quite lengthy as they are very comprehensive and include a number of required components. The sections that outline the site goals and actions are an excellent starting point when reviewing the plans. The plans, which are aligned to our district LCAP goals, have gone through that process, which includes opportunities for input by educational partners and staff, and have been approved by each site's school site council. School plans for student achievement are attached, and we thank our educational partners, site staff, and our site leadership for their work in preparing these plans. Administration is recommending that this item be placed on the August 22nd agenda for action, and we are happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any comments from the public on this item?
We have no comments by phone at this time.
I have none either.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from the board? Can you remind me, are these published anywhere? Okay. And I see you nodding your head, confirming yes, they are published. Do we translate them, or if we have any okay. I also see more heads.
Yeah, so once the plans are board approved, then they're housed in Doc Tracking, which is a platform that houses our SIPSAs, as well as our safety plans and some other site-based documents. They go through the process of translating those, and then they're available in those translations.
Okay. So, but unlike our safety plans, this is accessible by the public? Because I don't believe our safety plans are.
Yes, and yes, that is correct. These are.
Thank you very much. Any objection to having these items returned under consent? And then just as a reminder, any item under consent, if you wish to pull it when that item gets called, we can do so. Okay, this item will return under consent. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Item 3, receive information on letters LETRS contract. Dr. Boatwright.
Thank you. So LETRS is a professional development program for teachers in preschool through 3rd grade. LETRS addresses 4 critical outcomes for effective literacy instruction: understanding the science of reading, converting research to practice, enhancing teacher effectiveness, and transforming instruction. Teachers will be invited to participate on a voluntary basis. The program is 1 year for early childhood and then 2 years for teachers in kindergarten through 3rd grade. We already have interested teachers and have plans for recruitment and outreach to fill our first cohorts. Administration is recommending that this item be placed on the August 22nd agenda for action, and I'm happy to answer questions.
Thank you. Any comments from the public?
We have no comments by phone at this time.
Or in person.
Thank you. Comments or questions from the board? Trustee Cervantes?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Did you say that teachers volunteer?
Yes. So this will be a voluntary program for our teachers. Our hope is that through recruitment that we'll have some early adopters that will jump on board and start this training. The training is going to be occurring outside of the school day. It is a blended program, so there will be some portions that teachers complete, like I said, after their duty day. There'll also be some Saturday sessions, so it is a commitment. We will be compensating those teachers, of course, for their work with this, but we are excited. We have a goal that our students will be reading by the end of 2nd grade on grade level, and we need to do something in the district to offer some supports to our teachers and to help build their capacity to teach reading with our programs and our materials that we currently have. And so we checked into this program. I've checked with 2 other school districts. One of the districts that I checked with is beginning their 2nd year with this. They're starting another cohort because they've had such interest and positive reviews from their teachers. And so we're excited to bring this opportunity to Central Unified with your approval.
Do we recommend teachers? And the reason why I'm asking is if it's on a volunteer basis, it's after hours. I understand we do comp them. But with that being said, my concern is how do we motivate them to take advantage of the resources that we're providing, 1.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2, I feel like there's something else we can do other than asking them to volunteer. Because I don't know, and at least in my opinion, everywhere you go, no one wants to volunteer for anything, especially if it's in additional work or above and beyond what they're already doing, because I think most people believe they're already spread thin anyway. So I'm really concerned with how effective this is going to be asking people to volunteer.
Well, this is not the only thing to support our teachers and to help build their capacity. We have instructional support coaches in the district. We also have our administrators that are always participating in new learning and things that they can take back to their sites to work with their staff. I know that our principals, once they become aware of this opportunity, that they'll be helping us also recruit and having some conversations with those teachers that they think would really benefit from this program. We have a commitment with our math professional development right now through CGI and DMTI, which are contracts that you've previously approved. That training is not voluntary. It's something that we do offer, provide during the instructional day. We don't have enough substitutes, to be honest, to pull teachers for both math training and also the language arts training. And so this gives us an opportunity to offer something that's done outside of their duty day. as an opportunity, for them to continue to build their capacity to support our students. And the training is based on the science of reading, and we know that all of the current research that's being reported now is really about that science of reading and going back to really teaching students phonics and phonemic awareness and all of those critical reading components. So the program itself is going to utilize that current research and all of those strategies.
Besides self-motivation to do better, how do we incentivize them in terms of what you just said? Do we pay them a stipend? Do we pay them additional hours? And what is that? What does that look like?
So they'll be paid the rate, the home hospital rate, which is what we pay our staff outside for voluntary work completed outside of the duty day. We will ask for a commitment. Like I said, it is a 1-year program for our early childhood staff, and it's a 2-year commitment and program for our teachers in kindergarten through grade 3.
And how much additional time do you estimate this program would take in that year?
Yeah, so it's
in terms of hours?
It's approximately 80 hours
80 additional
for a year. That is the commitment.
It's not that much.
No, not for our students, it's not.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Superintendent Davis?
If I can just add, I almost don't want to because your last statement really fit it. This is our first year to try it. Getting some folks on board early with using it to add to what we already have during the day. I think if we find that it's necessary to have everyone participate in it, then it's going back to it to figure out how to put it within the school day so it becomes a requirement. We have some classrooms already that are leading others and have good results. We'd like them to participate in what they need. And so I think we'll learn a lot from this year to find out from the program. Your point is made, I think, though, in terms of if it's going to be a cornerstone marker to get our students all reading by the end of 2nd grade, then we would need to fit it within the day, and we'll learn that as we go through the process this year.
I love the goal.
Your mic. Your mic, Trustee Cervantes.
I'm just looking forward to the good results. Yeah.
And Trustee Cervantes, I shared the same concerns, and so I had some similar questions. I think based on the feedback you've received from your directors and our teachers, are we concerned that we're not going to be able to find or have enough volunteer to test out the services?
I'm not concerned. I mean, I feel strongly that we'll have a good-sized cohort to start the work. The recommendation is that there are 40 teachers in a cohort. I don't anticipate us having any problem getting that first cohort together. I'd love if we had even more interest where we could start a second cohort as well and run those simultaneously.
Thank you. And I do believe that we have teachers in every one of our grades and schools that'll step up and who want to improve so that they can help our students.
So I just thank you for sharing that. So our goal is 40.
So the recommended cohort size is 40. They will run a cohort with fewer, but I feel confident that we'll have that 40 to start.
So if we had more than 40, would we have to add to this contract, or were they able to accommodate more?
There could potentially be an additional cost if we decide to go over that 40, but I would bring that information back to you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other comments or questions? Any objection to having this return under consent? Okay, this will return under consent. Thank you, Dr. Boatwright. We move on to item 4, receive information on the 2023-2024 consolidated application for categorical funds. Director Grisby.
Good evening, board members and Superintendent Davis. The consolidated application, or CONAP, is used by the California Department of Education to distribute categorical funds from various federal programs to school districts throughout the state of California. The spring release details participation in federal programs and provides assurances that the district will comply with the legal requirements of each of the programs. Program entitlements are determined by formulas contained in the laws that created the programs, and eligible programs currently include Title I, Title II, Title III, and Title IV. Administration is recommending moving this item forward for action on the August 22nd board agenda after answering any questions you might have.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from the public?
We have no comments by phone at this time.
Nor in person.
Thank you. Comments or questions from the board? Trustee Cervantes?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm just curious in terms of funding, how much money are we looking at here in terms of funding?
We don't have the final numbers for 23-24. We loosely estimate them off of the previous year. So Title I's about $6.1 million. Title II is about $650,000, and that's for staff development. Title III comes in two programs. There's the LEP for Limited English Proficient. That's not my term, that's a federal term. And that is $312,000 to $320,000 usually. And then some years we qualify for Title III immigrant fundings too, just depending on how many students in the state of California immigrate. And so this year we are looking to qualify for about $120,000. And then Title IV is for $480,000 to $450,000 yearly.
Someday those
So not
labels
quite
will
$8
change.
million.
Yeah. Give or take 100,000 here or there, yeah. I'm sorry, did you ask
No,
another
I was just
question?
saying right around $8 million.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Any objection to having this item return under consent? Hearing none, this will return under consent. Thank
Thank you.
you. Next item is item 5, receive information regarding change order number 01 for Justin Garza High School interim portable buildings. Director Rodriguez?
Thank you, Board Vice President, Board of Trustees, and Superintendent Davis. For your information tonight is change order number 1 for the Justin Garza High School portables project for your review. The increase to the project is due to changes implemented after this project was originally bid that impacts the cost. Change orders are an allowable part of construction projects where a change may be initiated by the district, the contractor, or to the design team at any time during the construction process. This is permitted by Public Code statute. Staff has reviewed and recommends that this item return to the board on August the 22nd, board agenda for action. And I'll be happy to answer any questions you guys may have.
Thank you. Any comments from the public?
We have no comments by phone at this time.
Nor in person.
Thank you. Comments or questions from the board? Hearing none, any objection to having this return under consent? Okay, this item will return under consent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next and final information item is item 6, receive information regarding district core server infrastructure upgrade. Director Martinez.
Yes, good evening, Board of Trustees and Superintendent Davis. The item I'm bringing to you tonight is a request to upgrade our server infrastructure. The current server system that we installed back in 2017 is at the end of its support product life cycle. What that means is that the manufacturer no longer supports the hardware. So if we had to troubleshoot, replace equipment, or repair equipment, we would be looking at bringing in a third party or shopping eBay for parts. The server system that we have in 2 locations. Our primary location at the district office, which runs our critical daily operational services. And we have our secondary location located at Glacier Point, which is our backup location in case there was an environmental disaster at the district office, fire, water, something that's destructive to that system. We don't lose our data. The new system that we would be installing will have a life cycle up to July 2029, which at that point we would reassess our server infrastructure again and hopefully come back to you with a better and more efficient at that time system. The company we're looking to purchase this from is CDW under the Irvine contract for up to $406,000. Administration is requesting this to be added to the next board meeting for action, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you have.
Thank you. Any comments from the public?
We have no comments by phone.
Nor in person.
Any comments or questions from the board? Trustee Solis?
Will the new system have a larger capacity than the current system?
It will have a slightly larger capacity in our backup. Right now, we don't plan any growth, server or data growth within the next 5 years beyond what we currently have. But we do plan to hold longer archived backups, so we increased the storage there.
Thank you.
Trustee Cervantes?
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is a piggyback contract, therefore there is no bid.
There hasn't been no bid. We chose to use the piggyback as with any benefits from a piggyback. It's the time and cost of doing something that was already done by a California school district.
Thank you.
Trustee Kerfan?
Thank you. Thank you, Vice President Carrillo. So this new system for the servers, will the cybersecurity be updated?
No, but I like your question. That will be probably coming up. Hopefully, I'll bring that in the next board meeting. There's multiple layers in our system, our district network, multiple layers and subsystems that work together. Cybersecurity be one area that we would hopefully target real soon. I have a project coming up, but this particular one won't address that. No.
Okay, well, look forward to the update then.
All right,
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? When was the last time we updated our server?
The server systems were updated in 2017. We purchased and replaced.
Great, thank you. Any objection to having this item return under consent? Hearing no objection, this item will return under consent for next board meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you. Advanced planning, Superintendent Davis?
Just to mention that next week, we do have a work session on Tuesday, the 15th, over at the District Office Room 4, open to the public. It is noted that on our advanced planning calendar, we did move it from July to August.
Thank you. Additional information and closing comments. Is there any board member wishing to provide any additional information or closing comments? Okay. We move on. Next meeting, our next regular board meeting is Tuesday, August 22nd, 2023, beginning at 6 p.m. for our closed session and 7 p.m. for our public session here at the Central East High School Performance Art Center. We do not need to adjourn to closed session, and so our final item is adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn?
To adjourn.
I have a motion by Trustee Solis and a second by Trustee Kerfan. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 6-0. Thank you, everyone.